Good afternoon, everyone. This is Fade to Black breaking news for Monday, September 11th, 2023. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. Want you to help support the show. You know what to do. Get your Fade to Black T-shirts. The links are below. You can just order a T-shirt or get a Game Changer membership. And you get the new Michael Oeming official Fader Night shirt as well. They are both available. The links are below. Let's get straight to it. That's right. It's September 11th. On this day in history, the World Trade Center and Pentagon are attacked by terrorists when 19 militants associated with the terrorist group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 planes in the United States, crashing 3 into buildings. The 4th crashed in Pennsylvania and killing over 3,000 people. I'll never forget that day. That morning, I slept with the TV on. Everybody's got their story with this. And for me, I was sleeping, had the TV on, and I may have heard it incorrectly. I was sleeping, but I heard a small plane has hit the World Trade Center, and I kind of cracked one eye after hearing this a few times and looked at the screen. And we all know what happened that day after that. Absolutely incredible. On this day, September 11th, 2001. Let's get to the Fader fact. The letter J, as in Jimmy, the letter J was last added to the English alphabet in 1524. That's right. Before that, you guessed it, no Jesus. But that's another story. And that is your Fader fact. Let's get to the breaking news. Rescuers are still searching through the rubble and trying to reach isolated communities after a devastating earthquake struck Morocco on Friday. The quake is the strongest to hit the nation's center in more than a century, and its epicenter was not far from Marrakesh. At least right now, before showtime, at least 2,862 people have been killed. Also breaking right before the show, more than 2,000 people in Libya are feared dead in severe flooding as Storm Daniel swept through the eastern part of the country. The head of Libya's Eastern Parliament, Osama Hamad, announced the death toll right before the Fade to Black breaking news. Police are still working to apprehend Danilo Cavalcante, a fugitive convicted of murder who walked up a wall and escaped a Pennsylvania prison 12 days ago. They think he remains within Chester County, despite the fact that he slipped through their search perimeter this weekend, forcing, and I quote, a change in direction, end quote, for investigators. That's when he stole a van, changed his appearance, and was sighted more than 20 miles away before ditching the vehicle in eastern Nantmeal Township. There has been no new sightings of Cavalcante since Saturday evening. Wow. Today, pretty cool news. Today, Frank Rubio, a NASA astronaut and member of the space station's 69th expedition crew, became the American who has flown the longest space mission in U.S. history. At 1:39 p.m. Eastern Time today, he surpassed the 355 days, 3 hours, and 45 minutes logged by NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hey in 2022. Congratulations, Frank. It's a long time in space. He's going to come back a little taller, maybe a little smarter. Thousands of veterans who say they were sickened by radiation exposure at Area 51 during their military service have been denied federal benefits, the Department of Veterans Affairs said, as cancer and old age shrink the remaining number of survivors. When the PACT Act was signed last August, expanding benefits to veterans exposed to toxic substances, more than 8,000 people who helped clean up radioactive sites became eligible to apply for monthly disability payments. But a year later, the VA has rejected 86% of the claims. This comes from the VA themselves. The VA said that of the roughly 4,100 processed radiation-related claims from Area 51, it denied more than 3,500 and granted about 570 from August 10th, 2022 to August 10th, 2023. The VA says the vets, and I'm quoting, were never there because it's a secret facility. We need to do something about this. Huge news over the weekend. Huge news. NASA's oxygen generating experiment, otherwise known as MOXIE, has completed its Mars mission on the Perseverance rover, proving it's a fact that we can make our own oxygen and survive on Mars. Since Perseverance landed on Mars in 2021, MOXIE has generated a total of 122 grams of oxygen, about what a small dog breathes in about 10 hours. At its most efficient, MOXIE was able to produce 12 grams of oxygen an hour, twice as much as NASA's original goals for the instrument, at 98% purity or better. On its 16th run on August 7th, the instrument made 9.8 grams of oxygen. MOXIE successfully completed all of its technical requirements and was operated at a variety of conditions throughout a full Mars year, allowing the instrument's developers to learn a great deal about the technology. MOXIE produces molecular oxygen through an electrochemical process that separates one oxygen atom from each molecule of carbon dioxide pumped in from Mars' thin atmosphere. And that is crazy, huge news. The red fire ant, one of the world's most invasive species, has been found in Europe for the first time. The imported ant, which has the scientific name of, you ready? Solenopsis invicta, is native to South America, but has spread throughout much of the United States, Mexico, the Caribbean, China, and Australia over the past century. These insects can be aggressive when disturbed, and they have a painful sting. Researchers said that they identified 88 red fire ant nests spread over 5 hectares near the city of Syracuse in Sicily, Italy. Genetic analysis revealed that they most likely came from the United States or China. There you go. Check this out. More huge news. Tesla's Dojo supercomputer could fuel a $500 billion jump in Tesla's market value, analysts at Morgan Stanley announced earlier today. Shares of Tesla jumped more than 6% during early trading this morning after the prediction from Morgan Stanley's team about the automaker's supercomputing efforts. The Morgan Stanley team, led by longtime Tesla analyst Adam Jones, predicted that the massive drive in value could come from Dojo, potentially unlocking new revenue streams through the wider adoption of robo-taxis and software services. The analysts compared the potential of Dojo at Tesla to the same forces that have driven Amazon Web Services to propel Amazon's insane profitability. And finally, I'll leave you with this. I have a Star Wars Lego X-Wing fighter. It's about this big. It's about that wide. I built, it's a Lego kit. I love it. It's cool, but it ain't this. Check this out. A long-lost model of an X-Wing fighter used in the original 1977 Star Wars movie is now up for auction with a starting bid of $400,000, which seems really, really cheap to me because it seems kind of priceless, right? Like Da Vinci. It was used in the filming of the final battle in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, as the Rebel Alliance fight the Empire above the Death Star. The model represents the pinnacle of Star Wars artifacts ever to reach the market, according to Dallas-based auction house Heritage Auctions. And I would agree. The top 2 wings of the fighter are both painted with a single red stripe, identifying it as the squadron's red leader. The model is part of a collection that belonged to the late Greg Gine, an Oscar and Emmy nominated miniature maker known for his work on Star Trek and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It will be auctioned later this week on October 14th and 15th. Long known as the missing X-Wing, it was discovered by a team of visual effects experts as they helped Gine's family sift through his collection. I need to move about 10,000 Fade to Black shirts over the next 24 hours, by the way. I'm just letting you know. That's all the Fade to Black breaking news that you need for this Monday, September 11th, 2023. Fade to Black breaking news is produced by Renee Newman. I'm Jimmy Church. Go Backley Tappy.